Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today, we have got more World Cup reviews. I haven't been around for the last couple of days with work, so I'm back. Um, just a quick heads up, I won't be covering the final set of round of 32 games, which was Australia, Egypt, Argentina, Cape Verde, and Colombia, Ghana, right? I am not going to cover them in this video, you know, specifically. Um, but well done to the teams that qualified, and Cape Verde as well, by the way. What a fight they put on. Really unfortunate to not be able to bring in the penalties. But look, that's such as life. And Egypt and Colombia also are true, which is pretty pretty interesting. Um, but I want to talk about the round of 16 first because we are into the nitty gritty, right? We are into the fun, and this is where usually we get the knockouts. The round of 32 is basically the group stage. Like, I don't take anything from the round of 32 and find it, you know, crazy or anything like that. For me, um, I think it was alright. You know, it was like the group stage. There were too many teams that finished third in the group stage that were exposed because they were just not good enough and they shouldn't be in the round of 32. And because of that, so many games were pretty boring because they were one sided. But now we're into the round of 16. We're going to get to the quarterfinals soon. This is where, if you're good, you're good. And most of the teams left are good. So, it's very interesting. But let's start off with Morocco. They beat Canada 3-0. I would say, actually, surprisingly, against the run of play because I thought Canada played really well. I caught up on the highlights, and the general consensus is that Canada actually put up a really good fight. They were not they weren't dominated and lost 3-0. They put up a big fight and they should have scored at least a goal, if not two, throughout the game. But I suppose, you know, it's about taking your chances. It's about being clinical. When you're in front of goal, it's about being clinical. And, when you are not and you're playing against a team like Morocco with so much quality, so much talent, then you're going to get exposed and you're going to get punished for it. And look, first of all, fair play to Morocco. They are into the quarterfinals, and look, they could be joined by the likes of um, Egypt, but realistically, they're going to be the only African side in the final eight. And as much as we know that they're a very good team and they are a side capable of doing this, we saw in the last World Cup. I thought we were gonna see a lot more, from other African sides. Like, I thought Senegal were going to do well. They didn't. And, Morocco being the only representative, or at least should be the only representative because Egypt are playing Argentina, but who knows, that's football. By being the only team from Africa being in the final eight as things stand, massive shout out and credit to them. But like I said, Canada have been doing really well up until this point. They were certainly, I would say, pretty decent. But out of the three host nations, they were the worst of the three. You know, I thought they did really well to get here. They played well against South Africa. They deserved to get here. But I suppose this is like the the end of the road because they're playing against a side that are what, top 10, top 15 in the world, and again, it's just really difficult. But look, Morocco doing really well. Unahi, that first goal, what a free kick routine it was. And the second goal as well, really great goal. And then Rahimi scoring to wrap it up. Brahim Diaz, 2 assists for him as well. It's just cooking. Everyone's cooking, right? Brahim's cooking, Hakimi's cooking, Unahi's cooking, Buadi's cooking. They've got so many good players, and they're going to take on France next. I think France will win that game, but who knows? Great job from them. Now, next, this is the right post, but anyways, France did win. They won 1-0. This was not the right post. I liked the wrong one. But anyways, France won 1-0. And look, I suppose this picture is actually not a reflection of the game because France deserved to win, but a reflection on Paraguay's game, I suppose, in terms of not them playing well to keep France at bay, but them playing dirty and frustrating France, yes, but just being dirty. And I think dirty is, playing dirty in football is reasonable. Jose Mourinho, the new Real Madrid manager, is one of the dirtiest managers ever. Like, when you think about his tactics and the things he does. But they were just fouling, man. When you play FIFA or FC and you just spam tackle, I do that all the time and I get yellow cards, and Paraguay didn't. Or at least not sufficient enough. And I'm glad France beat them. Even if it's just 1-0, even if it's a penalty, I don't care. Like, they deserve to win because of how Paraguay play. I mean, if you're going to come in here and, not play football, but try to foul and injure your opponents time and time and time again, then you don't deserve to win, right? Because your game plan is not to win, it's to foul people, it's to make people injured. So, look, France doing well. I think, they're doing a great job at the moment. Then you're not going to win every game 4 or 5-0. And I thought they did really well against Sweden. They played against a dirty team in Paraguay and still got the job done. They play Morocco next, who are not going to be that way. Morocco are going to play football. They're going to be counter-attack. They're going to be, really good technically on the ball, with the ball. And, they are going to give France problems in other ways. And I think Morocco will be a bigger threat to France, but will also be a more peaceful game and a nicer game in that sense for France. So yeah, that's that. Now, last night we had 2 big games. Brazil played, England played, and they are going to play each other in the quarterfinals, or at least these 2 matchups. It is going to be Norway against England, as Norway beat Brazil. I did not expect this. I did not. Okay, I'm not gonna make it sound like Norway are shit or they don't deserve to win. They do deserve to win. They are a good team. Don't get me wrong, but I thought Brazil looked revitalized in that second half against Japan. Brazil looked really good in the group stage, but I didn't get carried away by that because we know that it was, quote, only the likes of Haiti and Scotland, and they drew against Morocco. We knew that this team isn't at its 100% yet, but I was expecting that bit more. I was expecting that quality to show up in such games, right? Vinny Jr., Cunha, Ryan, Neymar came on. Should he have started? Probably, right? Was he fit to start? Maybe not. But I was expecting that quality to show up. It didn't. It did not. Guimaraes, why was he the penalty taker? Vinny Jr. is on the pitch. He should be taking a penalty. Simple. Right? I don't know whose idea it was to let Guimaraes take the penalty. Yes, he's the penalty taker for Newcastle United, and he has got. You can give me a stat that he has got 20 penalties or whatever. But we're talking about the World Cup, a big game. I would always trust the attacker, no matter what, right? The attacker, like it's like Norway giving it to Berg instead of Haaland. Like maybe Berg is a specialist, or might not be, but let's pretend he is. You're not gonna say no to Haaland taking it. He will still take it, and that I think is the fundamental, right? Back in 02, R9 wouldn't not take the penalty for some random other player, right? He would. If not him, it would be someone else who, you know, we know of, in terms of the attacking player who is one of the best players in the world. Like, you need to trust your star player to take penalties and free kicks. And they didn't. They let Gimenez take the penalty. He missed. Good save, don't get me wrong. But that was that chance to go 1-0 up. They didn't take it. Haaland scores an incredible header, sends Gabriel back to Arsenal. And then the second goal, I don't even know what was going on. He got the ball outside the box. No one was closing him down. And he was like, yeah, screw it. I'm going to take a shot. And he scored. Yeah. I mean, Brazil's got the penalty, but it was too late. Like, it's over. It's over. Disappointing because Sweden, who I have as the dark horses, are out. Brazil, who I have as the finalists, are out. So we need Portugal to win it now for me to save a little bit of face and get a bit of grace. I don't think that will happen though. But let's see. Tonight they'll play Spain and we'll cover it tomorrow as well. But lastly, like I said earlier on, England also played. And as much as I'm really upset for Brazil, I'm really happy for England because Jude Bellingham's turned up. He's rocked up to the World Cup and he's been cooking. And that's really great to see because there was a time when he wasn't favoured by Tuchel and he was sort of being there was question marks over his starting place. Like people were saying, should Foden start? Because at that point Foden was finding a bit of form. Should Palmer start? Ultimately, they were both not picked. People were also asking, should Rodgers start? And you ask so much questions over the other three players, you forgot who Jude Bellingham is. He is that guy, apart from Kane. But they both link up really well. They both play really well together. Bellingham, I think, has always been really great at being a box crasher. A number 10 who essentially becomes a box crashing 10 or an attacking 10 or false 9, whatever you want to call it. He should be given the license to run into the box. He cannot be limited to just being a number 8 or a 10 that sits back. He needs to be able to thrive on his skill set, his qualities, area qualities, even striking the ball. Like, he's really great at scoring. And I think that should teach Real Madrid and that should give Mourinho more insights as to how to utilize him. Because I've said this for many times, I don't want to make this for Real Madrid, right? But next season, I want to see something similar to what Carlo Ancelotti did. That 4-3-1-2 or the 4-1-2-1-2 with three midfielders. That's something I want to see. But anyways, Bellingham as the 10, making those runs in is really good. Because Kane is also someone who can drop deep. So when Kane does drop deep and hold up the ball, you need someone who can run beyond him to get the goal. And my mouse is tweaking again. Should probably turn this shit off. But as I was saying, but I mean, yeah, I mean, fair play to England. They were incredible, and I mean Mexico. They've been really good this World Cup, and they won 4 in a row, kept 4 clean sheets, and I don't think people were expecting it to be an easy game for England. And I think Mexico proved it. It was a difficult game, physical, tough. It's at Azteca, Mexico fans everywhere. England had to fight, and that sort of mentality that they showed, like they showed against Congo, I think is showing that apart from the footballing technical abilities, they have it mentally as well. So fair enough to them. England are true. They will play. Um, they'll play against wait Norway, right? Yeah. Yeah, they'll play Norway. I think that will be a really good game. Norway are a very physical side. Um, but I think England should be able to win that game. But I did say Brazil should beat Norway as well, which they didn't. So who knows? But that'll be it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, hit the button, subscribe to just on already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.